If I were to tell you about a marauder who won a Latin American Civil War, made himself president there, and reinstated slavery, a Latino like Fidel Castro or Pablo Escobar might come to mind. However, what if I told you that this man was actually a white American from Tennessee? His name is William Walker, and he perfectly represents both the best and worst qualities of America's manifest destiny in the 1850s. In a way, he was the all-American man that we men strive to be. He earned a college degree, became rich through hard work, and fought intensely for a piece of land to call his own. Today I will tell you all about the Tennessee-born adventurer who created a country in Mexico, made himself the president of Nicaragua, and took on America's wealthiest tycoon in the late 1800s. You're probably wondering how an American Southerner became the president of a Latin American country, right? Well, before we get into that can of worms, it's important for you to know just what kind of a man William Walker was. Before making himself the president of Nicaragua in 1856, Walker was highly educated and highly skilled. He was also hard-working, as was evident when he captured the entirety of the Baja Peninsula with only 45 men. According to Rod Sudalter in his article, Man of Destiny, Walker was a prodigy who graduated at the top of his class at 14. Walker had a medical degree by 19 and became a founding partner of the New Orleans Crescent newspaper before the age of 25. Apparently, being a doctor, lawyer, and publisher was not enough for William Walker. He decided in 1853 to conquer part of Mexico. He established the Republic of Baja California and made himself the president there. As Brian de Ambrosio writes in an article for History magazine, Walker placed the region under the laws of Louisiana, which made slavery legal. On the verge of the American Civil War, the prospect of a new slave state was highly anticipated by the American South. In fact, according to de Ambrosio, a sympathetic jury in the States acquitted him in minutes when Walker was on trial for violating U.S. neutrality laws. Though his attempt to establish a new country in Mexico failed, Walker did not quit. He soon set his eyes on Nicaragua due to the country's vast importance in the journey between New York and California. Luckily for Walker, Nicaragua was in the middle of its own civil war. One side of the conflict, the Democrats, actually asked for Walker to bring an army of Americans in exchange for land. According to William Scroggs in an article for the American Historical Review, Walker and his men took a steamboat to Grenada and captured the city without a battle. Soon after, Walker declared himself president of the newly reconstructed government. As president of Nicaragua, William Walker seized control of all transit, forcing American voyagers to rely on his steamboats and railroads, and to pay the appropriate fees. As it would turn out, controlling the international transit would prove fatal for Walker, as it put him at odds with a man named Cornelius Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was the richest man in America at the time, and he was also the only one willing to wage a war against William Walker for the rights to transit routes across Central America. You see, Walker had stolen several of Vanderbilt's steamboats when he took over Nicaragua, and those boats were the main source of income for Vanderbilt. The main source of income for America's richest man is pretty invaluable, don't you think? So naturally, Vanderbilt did the only reasonable thing in response to having his boat stolen. He led several Central American countries in a war against Nicaragua. Costa Rica, Honduras, and Guatemala all fought against Walker and his men. Thanks to Cornelius Vanderbilt, the self-proclaimed president of Nicaragua was exiled to the U.S. Walker did not learn his lesson, however, and attempted to conquer Honduras shortly after. Unsurprisingly, this foray led to Walker's execution at the hands of a Honduran firing squad. Peter Carlson notes that the Hondurans refused to request to ship his corpse home in his article titled Imperial Walker. Despite his grand ambitions, William Walker died without making much of a lasting impact on America. Today, I explored the crazy and dangerous life of America's most famous filibusterer. William Walker was the man who fought for slavery in Latin America, seized control of Nicaragua's democracy, and caused Vanderbilt to wage war in Central America. By doing these things, he essentially became a living embodiment of America's manifest destiny. So, the next time you talk about Latin American dictators, don't forget the short-lived man from Tennessee. Thank you.